This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, June the 18th, is a former Major League catcher who was a star for the Cleveland Indians. He knew what to do with Cleveland. He also played for 6 other teams, but he was a Cleveland guy, true. He was the son of a former Major League player and brother of a Hall of Fame second baseman. He is 57 years old. He is Sandy Alomar Jr. Sandy Alomar Jr. was thrust upon with baseball as he would sit in the dugout with his brother Roberto Alomar, watching the dad Sandy Alomar Sr. play for many teams like the Yankees and the Angels. Alomar was a highly regarded catcher in the San Diego organization. He was named Minor League Player of the Year by Baseball America twice. The only problem was San Diego's catcher was Benito Santiago, and he was fantastic. So basically, the Padres were going to keep going with Santiago, so they decided to trade Sandy to Cleveland alongside Carlos Baerga and Chris James for Joe Carter. Big move. Because Joe Carter did decently for the Padres. And yes, it was with the Padres that Carter was dealt to Toronto in that famous 4-player deal that saw Carter and Roberto Alomar be traded to Toronto for Tony Fernandez and Fred McGriff. And that trade worked out well. Fred McGriff was a decent player for the Padres, and then the Braves wanted him for the 93 stretch drive, and it worked. And made that trade for him. And Tony Fernandez was traded from San Diego to the Mets, but then the Mets to the Blue Jays in the 93 season because of the injury to Dick Schofield. And Toronto used Tony Fernandez to win the World Series. That trade was gigantic. Anyway, once in Cleveland, he was a skilled defensive player. He actually started the All-Star game. He was and he was a rookie catcher too. He was named Rookie of the Year in the AL in 1990. Becoming the third catcher in Major League history to win a Gold Glove Award in his rookie season behind Johnny Bench and Carlton Fisk. Alomar was selected as an All-Star in 91-92, but injuries would hurt him heavily. Injuries would plague him for many years. But by 97, something clicked. He batted .324 for the season. He was the All-Star Game MVP at his own ballpark in Cleveland at Jacobs Field because he hit the 2-run home run off Sean Estes to give the American League the 3-1 win. Becoming the first player to hit an All-Star Game home run in his own park since Hank Aaron in 1972. He put up a 30-game hitting streak, which was amazing. Missed the Cleveland record by Nat Lajoie by 1, and missed the catcher streak by 4 to Benito Santiago of all people. In the ALDS, Alomar put up 2 home runs, including a key game-tying home run off Mo Rivera in the 8th inning of Game 4. Cleveland won that series in 5 games, 3-2 over the Yankees. But what was more important was that what people did not even realize was that was the last time Mo Rivera would give up an earned run in the playoffs for 4 years. I kid you not. The next earned run he gave up, or the next safe situation he blew was 2001 Game 7 against the Diamondbacks. Anyhow, in the ALDS, he was great. He was not really effective in the ALCS. However, he helped them win in Game 4, which saw Cleveland get to the World Series. Well, not through that game, but otherwise. But Cleveland would take on the Marlins for the World Series, but they lost in Game 7. But it was not Alomar's fault. Sandy batted .367 with 2 home runs. Injuries would limit him and all that. He would play in a limited role after the 2000 season with the White Sox in 01-02, Colorado 2002, White Sox again 2003-2004, Texas in 2005, LA 2006, back to the White Sox 2006, and the Mets in 2007. So, man, that's amazing. He was named catching instructor for the Mets organization in 2008, and he spent a couple years there. And then he was made first base coach of the Tribe. And rumors were circulating that he was going to be the Toronto Blue Jays manager. He was one of the top finalists before John Farrell took the position. Alomar was rumored to be on the short list of candidates for the vacant Cubs and Red Sox positions, but Cleveland promoted him to bench coach for the 2012 season. So basically, he was the assistant manager, if you will. After Manny Acta was fired by Cleveland, they decided to give Sandy Alomar Jr. the chance to finish out the 2012 season as manager. He was 3-3, but Cleveland then hired Terry Francona, to be manager, and that has been one of the biggest moves in Cleveland history. I think he's still with the Tribe, is he not? Yeah. Since 2012, he's the manager of Cleveland. So anyway, Alomar was back to being bench coach, and then afterwards he was replaced by Brad Mills as the bench coach and moved to the first base coach and all that. Alomar was actually acting manager for part of the 2020 season when Francona left the team because of gastrointestinal trouble. So for 7 days he was manager, and then Francona had to leave the team to have surgery, and he was acting manager for the remainder of the games. The Indians were 28-18 when Alomar was acting as manager. The Indians did lose the wild card to the Yankees, but still, I mean, that was pretty good. Sandy Alomar Jr. did quite well, managerial-wise. He's still with the Cleveland organization as a coach. So, yeah. He was brought up in the Cleveland situation. Cleveland had one of their best catchers of all time. I think he probably is the best Cleveland catcher of all time. I can't really think of a good catcher other than Steve O'Neill in the Cleveland organization they had for years. Or maybe Earl Batty. I don't think he played, or Johnny Romano. But it doesn't matter. Sandy Alomar Jr. is still a legend. And I know the visual has him as a Padre. I tried looking for Cleveland images, but they weren't really to my satisfaction. So I put him with the Padres. Fight me on that. Anyway, I'm June18.